Hi, my name is Gwendolyn Lambert Smalls, and I am with Shall The Bough Break podcast. Tonight, my topics are going to be about rape, incest, and the Havana syndrome frequency. It's going to be very graphic, so if you have any children in the room, I would advise you to not allow them to hear this broadcast. And first, I want to start with me being a child. And when I was a little girl, as you all know, my brother died in police custody in 2013. He was running into the hospital doors and they didn't open, and he hit the sliding glass doors, fell backwards, and they started tasing him. They tased him 20 times, and he succumbed to that abuse. The abuse was unbelievable. So if you go onto YouTube and look up Linwood Lambert, you will see his video. But before that, we were children, and this when incest come into play. And I remember we were playing on our couch as little kids, and my grandmother had bought us toys, and we played with our toys. And I remember playing with my doll baby, and my dad had came and spent the weekend, with his new girlfriend, Elma, which is my stepsister's mother. And she and my dad was upstairs doing something, and they happened to be looking at whatever they was doing. So he came downstairs the next day while I was playing with my doll baby and asked me if he could try something with me. And I didn't know what he was talking about because I thought it was playing with toys. But it wasn't. He wanted to have sex with me. So we did it with our clothes on the first time. Then the next day he came downstairs. He was like, that didn't work. It has to be something that they did that caused him to feel like he wanted to be a part of whatever they were doing. So he came downstairs and we took our clothes off. We took our pants down. He got on top of me and still nothing happened. So we never tried it again. That was the first time that we had incest in our family. The second time was with my cousin Regina. She's a woman. And the same thing happened. We were playing and I was in the house. That's when we had moved with my grandmother because my mother and father had gotten a divorce and they were going through a custody battle. And we had gotten a divorce. They had gotten a divorce. Excuse me, this is the Havana syndrome. And she called me outside because she wanted to do something with me that she saw on TV last night. That's what she told me. So she pulled her pants down and she told me to put my head between her legs. And that's what I did. And I proceeded to do what she wanted me to do, which was to lick her around her vagina. And I did, and I didn't like it. And I was like, I came outside from playing in the house for this. That was the second time that we had incest. The third time was with my uncles. Three of my uncles. Uncle Knott, Uncle Neil, and Uncle Mutt. That's what we call them. And they had normal, natural sex with us. We used to lay across the bunk beds, and they used to take turns getting on top of each other, doing it. We used to call it the Oochie Coochie or the nasty. But we never got in trouble for it. But my Uncle Knott did, because he was doing too much. But before all of that, we used to stay with my grandmother. And stay with my grandmother in her old house on Keysville Road. We used to sleep on the floor of her room. And he used to come and pull each one of us out, my two sisters and I, and have sex with us upstairs in his room. When he used to come home drunk. So when I used to smell people's breath, and I used to smell alcohol in their breath, and I knew that that reminded me of when I was raped as a little girl by my uncle. He was 10 years older than I was, so I know he was much older than my sisters. And I remember that because I used to wear my nightgown, and we had on nightgowns, floral nightgowns. And it was really sick because that was the first time I seen a man ejaculate was through my Uncle Nod. I remember laying on the bed and he pulled out, and then all this yellow stuff started coming out of his penis. This show is going to be very graphic, so I just want to let you know this. So children in the room, please escort them out. So it was yellow stuff coming out of his penis, and I was like, I didn't know what it was, nor did I know I could get pregnant with what it was. But as I got older, I learned that that was ejaculation from a man that could get you pregnant. That could get you pregnant. Now, getting to the rape part. All of that is incest and rape. Now, I believe that the Havana syndrome worked on my uncles because they were looking for a new cancer cell. That's why my husband comes into play. Because my husband, and I married my husband when I was 23 years old. Anybody who has sex with me after that is rape. And I look at it that way because they tracked my husband through Henrietta Lacks. And she's the one with the cancer cells. And her birthday was just in August 1st, 1920. And she died on October 4th of 2051. And my husband and I used to live in the zip code 100451, October 451. And he's also born October 31st, 64. He's born the same month that she died. He's born on the day that she was born. Her age when she died, 31. And in 1964, they sent her cancer cells to the moon so that they could see if astronauts, if they got something, then they would be able to get a vaccine or something that could possibly help the astronauts with their vaccines, with their help. This is the Havana syndrome. Is doing something. They could actually get help for the astronauts if they got sick. And not only that, my telephone number is 0451. That's October 4th to 51. Same thing, they tracking me through my husband. And I was saying to myself, what if I would have never met my husband? And we met casually. Everything is so casual. Nothing is programmed like you think it would be with the Havana syndrome. Like Lester Hall from NBC said, it's the invisible voice of the enemy. And that's because it's here, my right eye, go all the way back up, and then it in my ear, constantly. My voice has changed a little bit, but that's only a little bit. They should turn it off. Then I met this man named Tommy. His name is Tommy England. He's a Blackfoot Indian, part England, from England, part Blackfoot. So that tells me that they want to kick us out. England, because slavery started from cowboys, white people, white men, and Indians. That's how it started. So we have been friends for a long time, but I never thought he would proposition me after all those years to get me to have sex with him. And he said to me that I thought I was dying with this frequency on my head. I didn't know. And he said, if you have sex with me, then I'll stay with you instead of going to the Waffle House. So I had sex with him. And he didn't stay. He left and went to the Waffle House anyway. And Tommy's the type of person to drink like 10 to 15 pots of coffee a day. No food, no sugar, no cream, just black coffee. And he smokes 20 packs of cigarettes a day. That's Havana syndrome. 20 cigarettes a day. 20 packs. He had no teeth. He doesn't even look like the type of person that you and I think that I would want to be with or be around. Not saying that I'm better than him. I'm just saying that he's just different. He dressed different. He hardly take baths. He hardly take baths. I had to correct the Havana syndrome. And the second person was Wesley. Wesley had a penis this big, the size of my pinky. And I don't know, I heard he was married to a black woman before I met him. I met him through Tommy through the Waffle House. Tommy and I used to clean for the Waffle House, so he used to get food for free. I used to work at the Waffle House years ago, many years ago. That was my first job when I came to Richmond. And it seemed like cheers at the Waffle House. The same group of people come there every day. They order the same things, it seemed like. And I remember hanging out with Wesley a lot. But Wesley wanted sex that he couldn't have, so he wanted me to jerk him off. So that's what I used to do. I used to jerk his little penis off with all of my hands, all of my fingers, because he was so small. And then one day, he just came out of nowhere and wanted to put a cucumber inside of me. And I was like, no. Not only was it disgusting, but how can he get any erection off of putting a cucumber inside of me? That didn't make sense to me. He loved cowboy pictures, John Wayne, looking at those type of pictures. But he only came around when he knew I needed money. Just like Monty. Monty only came around when he knew I needed money. And Monty, who I see as money, he only gave me $20 here, $20 there if I had sex with him. So I would have sex with him. And that went on for a while. How I met Monty was at a gas station with my daughter. And we went to his house to eat. He's the only person I know that texts at the table while you're sitting at the table with him. And I thought that was weird. Like, how could he do that? That's weird. Instead of just talking in conversation, he's texting. Then there's Dion. Dion reminds me of the devil in my eye, because Deion Sanders has a son called Dion, and the devil's in my right eye. It goes all the way down to my tongue, sucks up my tongue, which sounds a little bit better, but not the way it's supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be concentrating on the way I talk. I'm supposed to be concentrating on what I'm saying. And then there's James Williamson. James Williamson was with Brown Boys Board of Ed. He used to cut my grass. I met him through a company that I used to clean for. And I didn't know he was friends with Barbara Johns. And Barbara Johns is a young lady who walked out of school in 1950 something before they overturned the Brown Boys Board of Ed case in 1954 to let kids integrate into schools at Thurgood Marshall. She started that, and he's friends with her husband. But he made my body smell different because he had insulin, and he was much older. So whenever we had sex, my body smelled horrible. So I would have to douche and clean myself out because body was just gross. Had my body smelling awful. But he wouldn't let me come to his house. No matter how many times I asked, he always had an excuse. His daughter this, his daughter that. That's why I said that's rape. The infrasound wave has a way of migrating these people into my life. From Brown Boys to Board of Ed to Robin, who I look at as Robin Hood, Wesley, who I look at who has a penis the size of my pinky, which remind me of Christmas when the infrasound magnetic wave wanted me to do incest to my own son. And I remember sitting there at Christmas holding him and singing Christmas songs when the thought came into my head, and the thought was to think of Uncle Knot and incest. That was the thought. Because the frequency goes up, goes down, it goes like this, and it goes like this. So they got my whole face and head locked down. And that's what I was thinking of Wesley, his connection, Tommy England, and the Blackfoot Indian, and Monty for money. Because that's all he ever did gave me was money. He never took me out but once. He never took me out, like to a dinner, to a restaurant, or anything like that. He just took me to his house for dinner, and then the rest of it was sex. I guess you could say I gave off those vibes when I didn't know. I didn't know that I was giving off vibes that was letting people know that I was free. Free for sex. As long as I'm poor, don't have any money, you can get sex for free. Just give me $20 and that's it. So with the Havana syndrome, I look at it like this. It can vibrate, integrate people, and migrate them to be around you. It can migrate you and you don't even know that you're getting yourself mixed up into something. You don't even know that you're getting yourself mixed up in sex, drugs, alcohol, or even the good stuff, money, business, good family vibes. You don't know that. So all these years, my family thought that it was their fault that they raped me. No, they were looking for another cancer cell because Henrietta Lacks married her first cousin. And he was out there in the streets and gave her HPV. And that's how the cancer grew and grew and grew and grew and kept growing. And it's still growing today outside of her body. They put it in monkeypox, COVID, HIV drugs, tuberculosis. I mean, the list goes on. Monkeypox, drugs, dog food, the list goes on. Cancer drugs. And that's what they were looking for. That's what I believe they were looking for. I don't think they were looking for anything other than to let me catch a disease or humiliate me like with Wes. Because I'm like, what is the connection with Wes? He has a small penis like a child. Then I thought of, oh, my son. So it humiliates me to know that that's what they were doing to me all these years that I was in Virginia by myself. No long-term relationships, no fiance, no new husband, just these men throughout the years. It added up to 20 years. But Uncle Not was at least 10 years older than me. Because I looked on Facebook when he had a birthday. And I was like, oh, if I'm 39, 49, and he is 59, something like that, 49, then he is 10 years older than me. So that means that when he was raping me, and she didn't know it was Havana syndrome, having him do that. Because Havana syndrome, acting up again. Havana syndrome can also have you be on alcohol, drugs, smoke cigarettes. It can also get you in the mood to dance, sex. Does it have me wanting sex and nobody around? And before I know it, I used to masturbate. And when I caught on to it, I was like, wait a minute. This is too high and it's not real. So something's not right. That's when I knew. That's when I knew that me masturbating for pleasure, for sexual pleasure, with no man around, was just disgusting. So I stopped. And I've been celibate for 5 years with masturbation. But I've been celibate with no masturbation, I would say in the last 2 years. No, year and a half with no masturbation. A whole year and a half. So Havana syndrome has many tricks. It has many tricks it can do to you. Like the other day, my head was hurting so much. Last night, I got no sleep. I went 24 hours without getting any sleep at all. None. So I'm hoping I can get some sleep tonight. My head was spinning so fast last night. I didn't get no sleep. But they got tricks. Tricks meaning that things that you don't know that you're getting yourself involved in, and you don't know that you're getting yourself involved in it. And like people you meet, you don't know if you're getting yourself involved in people that you don't know, that you meet. You just don't know. Like my husband. When I met my husband, he was in a drop top Benz with his friend. His friend was driving. Well, his friend was just more like a brother. His friend was driving, and I met him at the courthouse. And that's how we got started, not knowing that he was migrated to meet me. So it's almost like the show they used to marry people before they got to know each other. You marry them before you got to know each other. That's how it was. So that's how Havana syndrome works. That's just a little bit of how it works. So most of the things that you hear me talking about tonight on my show is also in my book, Hidden in Plain Sight. So I have nothing to hold back, nothing to not say, because I'm putting it in my book. This show is called Rape, Incest, and the Havana Syndrome Frequency, which is called infrasound microwave magnetic frequency. Google it. Go on YouTube and look up Obama, because Obama called it Havana Syndrome when he went to Cuba in 2013. When he went to Cuba in 2016, so he said 13, 16. So look it up and keep yourself updated on everything that I'm talking to you about, because I believe you're going to hear about it again. So with that being said, that was my show tonight, and I wish you all the best, and have a great night. This is Gwendolyn Lambert Smalls, now with Shall The Bough Break podcast. Good night.